It's day 4 of your 30-day vocabulary challenge. One video every day for 30 days to help you master 105 intermediate English words. We're taking words from the academic word list, so these are words you'll need to know if you're preparing for the IELTS or TOEFL exam, but also if you read or watch news in English or have conversations with native speakers. In other words, these words are useful. So grab your friends, have them join you in this challenge, and let's do this. As always, if you like this video or you learned something new, please like and subscribe with notifications. It really helps. There's a download to go with this video, a list of all of the words with definitions and sample sentences, as well as quizzes to make sure you're really getting and remembering these words. You can get that download by following this link or the link in the video description. Today we're learning 4 words: estimate, process, research, and method. And we're looking at the different ways these words are used in various situations. For each word, you'll get the definition, we'll go over the pronunciation, you'll get to see the pronunciation up close and in slow motion, and we'll have 5 examples from real-life English. First, the word estimate. This word has 2 different pronunciations, estimate or estimate, both with first syllable stress. Estimate. Estimate. As a verb, it has first syllable stress, estimate. It means to roughly calculate, to judge, to give or form a general idea about the value, size, or cost of something. They estimated that the distance was about 3 miles. As a noun, it can be estimate or estimate. As a noun, this is a guess that you make based on the information you have about the size, amount, etc. of something. According to government estimates, current oil reserves are 10% lower than they were a year ago. Let's look again at this word up close and in slow motion. Estimate. 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 And now we'll go to English for 5 examples of this word in real situations.
And you can see we estimate it with great precision.
Estimate, guess at, with great precision. Oh, they're very good at estimating apparently. They can get very close to the actual number.
And you can see we estimate it with great precision.
Here's another example.
And as has been mentioned, we estimate now there's about 10,000 of these diseases.
Based on what they know, guessing the number of diseases.
And as has been mentioned, we estimate now there's about 10,000 of these diseases.
Here's another example.
They estimate this is the worst drought in California in over 1,200 years.
Roughly judging, guessing, it's the worst drought in over 1,200 years.
They estimate this is the worst drought in California in over 1,200 years.
Let's go on to our next example.
$238 billion was the estimate in 2007.
Now it's a noun, and we have the other pronunciation, estimate. This was the guess in 2007.
$238 billion was the estimate in 2007.
Here's our last example.
They estimate a food's shelf life, that is, how long the lettuce will be crisp, or how long before the milk begins to sour.
Estimate, roughly calculate, give an approximation, a good guess.
They estimate a food's shelf life, that is, how long the lettuce will be crisp, or how long before the milk begins to sour.
Next, the word process. Process. A 2-syllable word with first syllable stress, process. It's a noun, a series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result. Learning a foreign language can be a difficult process. As a verb, it means to change something from one form into another, to deal with something like a document or a request, or to take in and use, like information. Your application will be processed in 5 to 10 business days. Or, wow, that's a lot of information to process. Again, let's look up close and in slow motion. process, 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 process. And now we'll go to English for 5 examples of this word in real situations.
In the best case, the application takes about 6 to 8 months to process.
6 to 8 months to be processed. That is, to be dealt with. What are all the things that need to be done with this application? It takes 6 to 8 months to do that.
In the best case, the application takes about 6 to 8 months to process.
Here's another example.
If you're a part of a hiring process or an admissions process, you can be color brave.
A hiring process. The series of actions needed to hire someone, like looking at cover letters and resumes and holding interviews.
If you're a part of a hiring process or an admissions process, you can be color brave.
Here's another example.
In that process of going through thousands of pages, to 20 pages, to 10 pages, to 5, to 2, I was learning judgment.
In that process. In the steps needed to go through thousands of pages to 2.
In that process of going through thousands of pages, to 20 pages, to 10 pages, to 5, to 2, I was learning judgment.
Here's another example.
And the reality is, I've been part of this process all my life.
A part of the process. A part of the steps needed to do something.
And the reality is, I've been part of this process all my life.
Here's our last example.
This causes the milk to curdle. It's part of the cheese-making process.
The process. The steps needed to turn milk into cheese.
This causes the milk to curdle. It's part of the cheese-making process.
Next, the word research, another word with 2 pronunciations. Research or research. 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 As a noun, it means careful study that's done to find and report new knowledge about something. She conducts research on blood cancers. As a verb, it means to study something carefully, to collect information about a subject. Before going out to eat, she researched area restaurants. Let's look again up close and in slow motion. Research. 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 And now we'll go to English for 5 examples of this word in real situations.
We don't have statistics on that, and I'm hoping a graduate student who listens to this episode will research it.
We'll research it. We'll study it carefully.
We don't have statistics on that, and I'm hoping a graduate student who listens to this episode will research it.
Here's another example.
So this was a really fun chapter to research and then put together.
It was fun to study this and report the new knowledge, the findings.
So this was a really fun chapter to research and then put together.
Another example.
So as soon as I got home that day, I did some research.
Did some research, studied it, looked stuff up for more information to learn more about it.
So as soon as I got home that day, I did some research.
Another example.
There's a lot of research that shows that.
A lot of research, studies that have been done.
There's a lot of research that shows that.
Let's go on to our next example.
Where is the research going right now?
Where the research is going. As we learn more about it through careful study, what are we learning?
Where is the research going right now?
Did you notice each one of those had the pronunciation with the first syllable stress, research? That one is more common. And our last word today is method. Method. With an unvoiced TH, the tongue tip does have to come through the teeth for this. Method. As a noun, it means a way of doing something. I recommend using the play it, say it practice method in Rachel's English Academy. That is the way to practice that I've developed that I think gives my students the best results. Here's the word up close and in slow motion again. Method. 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 And now we'll go to English for 5 examples of this word in real situations.
What is our therapy method?
Our therapy method. The way we do therapy which might be different from the way someone else does therapy. There's music therapy, art therapy, talk therapy, all different methods of therapy.
What is our therapy method?
Here's another example.
They have a very different method of educating people.
A very different method. That is a completely different way of doing things when it comes to education.
They have a very different method of educating people.
Here's another example.
Well, using the spotlight method, we can write some new headlines that are more customer-focused.
The spotlight method, a way of doing things that focuses on or puts the spotlight on the customers.
Well, using the spotlight method, we can write some new headlines that are more customer-focused.
Here's another example.
We've got, pap smears and mammograms to detect breast cancer and things like that. Is there really any early detection method?
Early detection method. That is a way of doing things that would help us detect cancer even earlier than we can now.
We've got, pap smears and mammograms to detect breast cancer and things like that. Is there really any early detection method?
Here's our last example.
But do you find that to be an effective method of communication?
An effective way to communicate. You can choose lots of ways to communicate. Yelling, being very calm, using gestures, writing a note.
But do you find that to be an effective method of communication?
Seeing their real-life examples can really help you understand how to use these words, can't it? I have a challenge for you now. Make up a sentence with one of these words and post it to social media, tag me, and use the hashtag Rachel's English 30-Day Challenge. Don't be shy, you can do this. Our next video comes out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Philadelphia time. Come back to learn 4 more vocabulary words. In the meantime, keep your studies going with this video and check out my online courses at rachelsenglishacademy.com. You'll become a more confident English speaker. And please do remember to subscribe. I love being your English teacher. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English.